If you're starting to wonder, are we actually as ready to launch as we think? It's not a red flag, honestly. It's just a moment to pause, assess, take a beat, and decide what needs to change before the market turns hesitation into an expensive uphill battle. Because most adoption failures don't happen at launch, they're baked in much earlier when teams, frankly, falsely assume that the market's moving in lockstep with them. You don't need more pressure or another reminder at what's at stake for your company or your career. What you do need, though, is clarity. You need a way to see now if your launch is at risk for anemic adoption. And I've never seen a launch plan that starts out at a very meager rate. It's usually very, very aggressive. And then it's met with, frankly, disappointment when the market reality kind of check hits. So let's start with an honest look in the mirror using the product adoption lie map. I'm including the link here and in the notes below, and you're going to see 5 questions that assess key market factors and team alignment. And these are really your signals for how big a gap is this between what you believe and what the market believes. So step 1, answer the 5 questions as a leadership team and then figure out, are you aligned? It sounds super simple. Are we aligned? Are we in sync with the market's needs and expectations? Those are 2 different things. Step 2, determine the readiness state you're in. Is your team aligned and your market primed? If so, good news, you're ready for launch. If your team isn't on the same page, or if your assumptions about the market are not grounded in reality, then your launch is at risk. It's really a binary situation. And after running this with dozens of companies and leadership teams, go-to-market teams, the most common outcome is simple. You're just not as ready as you thought you were. But if you know where you sit in these readiness stages, you can then go to step 3, which is how do we take that knowledge and intellectual capital and put it into a plan or adjust the plan so that we can truly increase our odds of accelerated adoption and accelerated valuation. So to do that, you need to answer these key questions, okay? 1, where does belief break down? This question is layered. Does belief break inside? Does it outside? Is it both? 2, which market behavior assumptions lack proof and how much risk will this create? So going to market with an unproven market assumption is what I call the Achilles heel for most companies. Internal conviction and external adoption are 2 very different things. And then 3, how much capital should you commit before this market readiness has been validated? And heads up, if you're going to invest a bunch of capital before the market's ready, you're really giving up control in your future. And most of the time, you don't get a do-over, right? Some companies discover we're aligned internally, but the market isn't conditioned yet. Others discover we can't even agree inside the walls. But either way, the knowledge isn't a verdict or a sentence. It's really launch insurance. Answering these questions helps expose the belief gaps. And the next step is commercial validation. That's where the pivotal commercial design review, or the PCDR, comes in. The PCDR quantifies the exposure before you're going to spend the money. And this helps produce a kind of a board ready readout and literally lays out the judicious next step recommendations. So the product adoption line map is helping you find the signals, and then the PCDR turns the signal into a plan that you can kind of confidently hang your hat on. So if you're 12 to 24 months out from launch, or you're about to scale your spend and you honestly don't have the evidence to prove the market is going to be ready to change their behavior, you're not executing a plan. You're basically placing a bet. And my suggestion is don't fund hope, design readiness that drives demand. It's as simple as that. I'm going to drop a link here. If you want to learn more information about the PCDR, you can grab time with me to kind of walk through this. My goal is to make sure that you are primed for a pull, to increase your odds of a successful launch, and more importantly, the odds of your innovation becoming the next standard of care.